Okay, so we are already on to day 2 of week 2. Time is flying, at least for me. So for today, we've got your assignment number 2 that you have to do. It is relatively easy, I think, for the most part. There are some word problems that might kind of get you thinking a little bit more, and that might be the most difficult part of the assignment. Um, but yeah, so we're going to look at discriminants today. So discriminants are a way to tell you how many zeros an equation has. So in the last few days, I've told you to try to find the vertex, try to figure out which way the parabola goes, and then go from there to see if there would be any zeros or not. But conveniently, there is. Okay, so I'm not too sure if I completely lost my spot there. It kind of cut out because of the internet. So I was saying that in the past few days I've been talking about how to find zeros, and in order to do that you had to think about where the vertex was, how the parabola opened up or down, and that would tell you if there's 2, 1, or no zeros. There is an easier way of doing that, and that's through the discriminants. So with the discriminants, we have our standard form equation that's ax squared plus bx plus c. So if we do b squared minus 4ac from that standard form equation, it's going to tell us how many zeros we have. So if it's anything that's higher than 0, and I know some of you might have difficulties remembering which way goes where. So this is if it's higher than 0, then that means there's 2 roots or 2 zeros. If it's equal to 0, it means that there's 1. And if it's lower than 0, so anything that's positive or negative number would have no zeros. Okay, so we're going to do some examples of those guys and go from there. So I'm clearing this. Today's lessons are relatively easy. There's not like a ton of math to do, I guess, if that makes sense. So it should be a relatively short day for you, thank goodness. So if we look at our first equation here, our a value is 1. So if there's no number in front of our x squared, remember that it's just a 1. Our b is -6, and our c is 3. So we're going to do our b squared minus 4ac. Okay, so our b is -6 and then squared, minus 4, our a is 1, our c is 3. So -6 squared is just 36. 4 times 1 times 3 is 12. So this will give us 24, which means that this is larger than 0. So that means that there's 2 roots. And that's all you've got to do. Okay, and if we look at the graphs, I'd have to go down a bit, but there are graphs for each of these. So the graph that we're looking at would be our green one here, and that one has 2 roots. Okay, for this one, our a value is 1, our b value is -6, and our c value is 9. Okay, so this is our second one. So we're going to do the same thing. So -6 squared minus 4, 1, and 9. So -6 squared again is 36. 4 times 1 times 9 is 36. So that gives us 0, and that means that there's only 1 root. Okay, and that would be this blue line here. It just goes to 3, 0, and there's the 1 root, and that's it. And then for our third one, and you can tell just by the graph, because I've already told you which ones we've done. We've got 13. So it'll be -6 squared minus 4 times 1 times 13. So this will be 36 minus 52, which gives us -16, which is smaller than 0, which means that there's no roots. Okay, and that would be this red guy right here. So I'm going to erase this, and we're going to do a few more examples, and you're on your own. Okay, so the discriminants tell you how many roots that they have, but they don't tell you what the roots are, which is unfortunate. But it does help us to try to figure out how many we would need, or that we're looking for. I swear that these videos should be named like Miss Lafreniere and Molson's Adventures Trying to Teach Math. She was just eating. I had a bowl of food beside the bed, and she decided she was going to have a little morning snack. So she came in the room and she was all scared because she knows that she's not allowed to eat that. So I had to pause it for that reason. So here we are, we're back. Okay, so how many real roots for 4x squared minus 12x plus 8? So we're going to label our values. So we've got A, which is 4, B, which is -12, and C, which is 8. So we're going to do -12 squared minus 4 times 4 times 8. -12 squared is 144. 4 times 4 times 8 is 128. So 144 minus 128 is 16, which is larger than 0, which means there's 2 roots. Okay. For 2, find k so that the equation has 2 equal real roots. We just found that a similar equation here. So our A value is 4, our B value is k, C is 9. So we're going to put k instead of the B here, minus 4 times 4 times 9. And you have to put it as this, so it has to be bigger than 0. So k squared minus 4 times 4 times 9 is 144. And we're going to do it the same way as when we were solving for x. So because it's being subtracted on this side, we're going to add it on both sides. So that cancels that out. So k squared has to be bigger than 144. So that means that k has to be bigger than 12. We're doing the square root on both sides here. It cancels that out. Okay, so k can be anything that's larger than 12. So it could be 13, for example. It could be 14, anything that is larger than 12. Okay, so I'm clearing that. You guys are on your own to do the practice questions. I personally don't think they're too hard. You just have to tell me how many roots for each equation. Yeah, hopefully it goes well. Bye.